بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده المنتجب ورسوله المرتضى وأشهد أنكم الأئمة الراشدون المهديون المعصومون المكرمون اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
If somebody believes in 11 imams and denies, the 12th imam's imamat, he is like a person who has believed in all the prophets from Adam to Isa alayhi salam, but has rejected the nubuwwat of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Unfortunately, these days we have people who, in the name of reform, would like to change our beliefs. Reform actually is more to do with the community, to make them better, to bring them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to bring them closer to the teachings of the Quran, to bring them closer to the seerah of the Ahlul Bayt. But if somebody says, no, all these fundamental concepts that you believe in as Shias, tawassul, bid'ah, ghulu, this is exaggeration. Shafa'at, this is ghulu. These are all fabrications. And this is where, even when it comes to the concept and the existence of the Imam of the time, Hazrat Hujjat Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Faraj Sharif, all these are being attacked. This belief in a Mahdi who will come at the end of time, who will make his appearance at the end of the time, is not only a Shia belief. This is actually a unanimous belief of all Muslims. Right from the Wahhabis on the one extreme to the Shia Isna Asharis on the other extreme. And all different groups in between, Sunnis and Sufis and others. And when there is unanimity among all the Muslims about the concept of Al-Mahdi, there can be no room for any, idea, oh, this is bid'ah, this is shirk, this is ghulu, because then you are going to paint the entire ummah as mushrik and ghali. Let me give you three quotations here. Number one, starting from Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah is a scholar of the 7th century of the Islamic era. It is his ideas which are the foundation of the Wahhabi madhab. All the scholars of Wahhabism, they look at Ibn Taymiyyah as their thinker, as their mutakallim, as their theologian. In a book that he has, Minhaj al-Sunnah, multi-volume work, talking about the ahadith which have come about Al-Mahdi, he says, وَحَدِيث al-Mahdi ma'rufa. He says that the ahadith about Al-Mahdi are very well known. It has been narrated by Ahmad bin Hanbal, by Abu Dawood, Tirmidhi, wa ghayruhum, and many others. And then he gives an example. For example, the hadith of Abdullah bin Mas'ud. Abdullah bin Mas'ud was a very prominent companion of the Prophet. He quotes his hadith as an example, where he says that the Prophet said, لَوْ لَمْ يَبْقَى مِنَ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا يَوْمٌ لَطَوَّلَ اللَّهُ ذَلِكَ الْيَوْمِ. If in the age and the term of this earth, only one day remains, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to prolong that day حَتَّى يَبْعَثُ فِيهِ رَجُلًا مِنْ أَهْلِ بَيْتِ, until he raises a man from among my Ahlul Bayt. يُوَاطِ إِسْمُهُ إِسْمِي وَإِسْمَ أَبِيهِ إِسْمَ أَبِيهِ. His name will be the same as my name, and his father's name would be the same as my father's name. What will he come to do? يَمْلَعُ الْأَرْضَ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا كَمَا مُلِعَتْ ظُلْمًا وَجَوْرًا. He will come to fill the earth with justice and equality the way it would have been filled before that, with tyranny and injustice. In Saudi Arabia, there is the organization known as Rabitat al-Alam al-Islami, World Muslim League. This is the world body of the Wahhabis, with its headquarters in Jeddah. And they have this service of, publications, answering questions and things like that. In 1976, interestingly, somebody, a Sunni from Kenya, wrote a letter to them in Arabic about this issue of the ahadith of Al-Mahdi. Are they authentic? Should we believe in them or not? And I'll just give you one paragraph of that answer, written in 1976 by رابطة العالم الإسلامي. نص الحفاظ والمحدثون على أن أحاديث المهدي فيها الصحيح والحسن ومجموعها متواتر مقطوع بتواتره وصحته. It says the scholars of hadith, they have written down the ahadith about Mahdi of all different kinds. Some of them are sahih, authentic. Some are good. And collectively, when you look at all these ahadith together, they write that it is mutawatir. Mutawatir is the highest quality of hadith, even above sahih. Means it has been quoted by so many companions that it is improbable to think that all of them sat together, conspired to come up with the same words. And so he's saying that when you look at the collection of this ahadith, they are mutawatir maqtu'u bitawatirihi. We are convinced that it is mutawatir. And then this is the important part. إن الاعتقاد بخروج المهدي واجب. To believe in the appearance or coming of Mahdi is wajib. Remember, they are not saying al-i'tiqad bi-wiladati al-Mahdi. We are not saying that, to believe that Mahdi would be born. They are talking about khuruj. The coming of Mahdi, to believe in it is wajib. وَعَنَّهُ مِنْ عَقَائِدِ أَهْلِ السُنَّةِ وَالْجَمَاعَةِ. This is the belief of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. وَلَا يَنْكُرُهُ إِلَّا جَاهِلٌ بِالسُنَّةِ وَمُبْتَدِئٌ فِي الْعَقِيدَةِ. Nobody denies this belief in Mahdi unless he is ignorant of the Sunnah and an innovator in the belief system of Muslims. So those who do not deny it, according to the Wahhabis, they are either jahil or they are people who are creating fitna and bid'ah in the ummah. Third quotation, the final in this series. During our time among these Wahhabis, there was a very prominent alim of hadith known as Shaykh Nasiruddin Albani. He was an expert on hadith. He also, being an expert on the science of hadith, says, أَمَّا مَسْأَلَةُ الْمَهْدِي. Coming to this issue of Mahdi, فَلْيَعْلَمْ أَنَّ فِي خُرُوجِهِ أَحَادِيثٌ كَثِيرَةٌ صَحِيحَةٌ. He says that ahadith about his coming are many, and majority of them are sahiha. They are authentic. قِسْمٌ كَبِيرٌ مِنَهَا لَهُ أَسَانِيدُ صَحِيحَةٌ. Many of them have very solid and strong chain of narrators. Then he ends by saying, خُلَاصَةُ الْقَوْلِ. He summarizes it by saying, إِنَّ عَقِيدَةُ خُرُوجِ الْمَهْدِي عَقِيدَةٌ صَابِتَةٌ مُتَوَاتِرٌ عَنْهُ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ. He says that the belief in coming of Mahdi is an established, well-known, aqidah and belief from the Prophet himself. يَجِبُ الْإِيمَانِ بِهَا. It is necessary to have this belief in the coming of Mahdi. لِأَنَّهَا مِنْ أُمُورِ الْغَيْبِ. Because to believe in the coming of Mahdi is an example of ghaib. Earlier I recited those ayat. I didn't know that even a Sunni scholar is relating that ayat to belief in the ghaib of the Imam. He says, إن الإيمان بها من صفات المتقين. He says to believe in this Imam Mehdi is from the qualities of the righteous people. كما قال تعالى, as Allah has said, ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. He is explaining this belief in Mahdi as one of the examples of believing in the ghaib that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the earlier ayat of Surah Baqarah. He ends by saying, وَإِنَّ إِنْكَارَهَا لَا يَصْدُرُ إِلَّا مِنْ جَاهِلٍ أَوْ مُكَابِرٍ. Rejecting this ahadith and belief in Mahdi cannot come to anyone unless he is ignorant or arrogant. So whenever you see all these things, Neem Mullah type people, half-backed scholars, and they say, oh, the Shias for last centuries, they have been ghali and mushrik. Just read to him, either you are jahil or mukabir. There's no third choice there.